FLCPA number 2 in Z Hills, Florida. Felt like I had a pretty good comp at the first one. Let's get into this first practice round here at Z Hills. These typical southeast winds, which isn't the best for zone accuracy, but it's something that we've been practicing with all week. Something we're feeling confident with. So let's get into it. Now, ideally, when we're doing some downwind accuracy, not really going for the box, with that tailwind, we're going to have a good chance of getting pushed a little further than we want to. So, other than not standing that up, which is pretty tough too, in a tailwind, I'm pretty happy with that, pretty stoked. Pretty pumped on it. My game plan was really, you know what, let's just do the same thing for the first round of the competition. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Don't really try to do anything different. I'll take that as a score in these tailwind conditions, especially if the winds are forecasted to pick up. Okay. When the winds are forecasted to pick up, man, I just want to do that same thing again. So, before I go ahead and show you, I'll just let this thing run for this first competition round. And we're going to see things don't go exactly to plan. And I'll tell you why I think why this jump went this way. Really no control. I feel like it didn't demonstrate any control in this first competition round. Let's look at the rear view to get a better understanding of what actually happened and how this is a really poor score in tailwind conditions. So as we're coming through, I get the first gates and I pick up that second one and third one. So I'm struggling to try to get back on the water, which I do. But in the panic, I end up kicking the bank, which these judges are called it. I didn't know it at the time. As I'm flying through the air, I'm just trying to shut it down so I don't fly out the back of the course and get the course to minimum. So I saved myself some points there by not flying out of the back of the course. But what I think was different from this jump to the next is maybe I had too much confidence in this. I did not debrief myself. I didn't talk myself through the normal plan, which is finishing the turn, breathing, and letting the water come to me. I feel like I felt a little bump, which wasn't really too much of anything, but I just started reaching for the water. When that happens, I lift up out of the water. So I thought maybe at worst I was in this zone, but that bank strike gives me 1 point. So I got a total of 30 points. 30 points for this first round, which is a far off that 85 points that I'm striving to average around to keep me in contention. After this, everybody else seemed to handle it way better than I did. People got decent scores for these conditions. We ended up calling it on the zone accuracy, and we moved right on into distance. So after that first round of accuracy, I got 37 cumulative points based on the person with the highest score. So 37 points. Got to refocus, not relive the past, and just move on. So let's see how this first distance run goes. Definitely brought the aggression. Definitely was pretty tight on that. The angle is not the best for distance. Kind of want to be smooth on that water. I was pretty rough on that water, and so when that happens, I start climbing, just like in that ZoneAcc run. So when I start climbing, I need to stop myself from climbing. I need to pass through these 50-foot this 50-meter gates here and stay underneath it. So when you hit the water and you're a little bit aggressive, you can't really drive up and out of the course. You kind of have to pause, not do anything, not let yourself climb anymore. So not 100% happy with that. I know I'm definitely still leaving points on the board. See how well we are able to, our placement on the water, it's not too bad, but again, it's just a heavy contact. And you see I'm already high above the gates here. I can't really do anything to climb up and out. I have to pause through it. So let's go ahead and just move on. Let's move on to this next round of distance. Try to be a little bit smoother through the water. Try to start climbing up. A little bit better approach. As you can see, I'm not as high through the gates, so I'm able to power it through somewhat through the exit gates and get a much better score. Pretty happy with that. Little stay on the ground for dramatic effect. Belly slide in a little bit. See the placement on the gates. Yeah, nice and smooth. Good climb, a little bit yawing side to side. But definitely happy with that score. And we can see here that first round, 111 meters, 75 points. But the second round, 140 meters, 95 points. So these kind of average out at that 85, but I'm already pretty far behind with that 37 points from zone accuracy. So 170, not the greatest, but I got something to work on here. Really good score. With distance finished, we went ahead and started speed. The winds are picking up for sure. Winds are picking up. Not 100% straight down the pipe for the speed, but for the speed course, but we should have some pretty good ripping times here with the speed event, with that tailwind. Have a pretty good line right here. Finishing within a comfortable distance back. Nice and smooth through the course. I'm just feeling good after that run. Good run. Typical speed run here. Yeah, let's do that again. Let's do that again. Kind of feel like when I was in the air on this one, again with the clouds, it's tough to see. The angles are tough. I can't really use the water to read exactly what the winds are doing so much. So I decided to kind of tighten it up a little bit. And when I finished the turn, I was a little scared here. I thought maybe I was gonna have to go to toggles to get this thing to plane out, because I'm charging very much at the course here. But I was able to save it and just bring a whole lot of stank through this course. I felt a little bit better in the last one, mainly because I pretty much was planing out as I was going through the course. So after these 2 rounds of speed, I'm feeling pretty good here. Don't really know where I stand. I just know that I'm just trying to score without too much pressure on myself. Just watching the gates, looking at the gates, and trying to wind it up and bring some heat. So after that round of distance with 95 points, I got another 95 points from that first round of speed, and then 99 points. So things are looking better. Don't really know where I stand. I think this was probably about the end of the day. We finished our speed, but we didn't really get through any other events. So we showed up Sunday to finish off this competition with this one last round of zone accuracy. A little bit more southern winds than southeast winds during the turn, and the winds are kind of a tailwind, a little bit of a tailwind on the ground. So going into this last round, I believe I was in 7th place. So went from 17th from the first one to 7th. Definitely had some things to build off on. Nothing to brag about, but try to finish strong. Trying to finish strong here, really similar conditions. Kept myself with the same game plan. Feel like I had a good pop over here. Started getting a little bit uncomfortable with the back end of it. So I started doing things to try to shut this thing down without going past it. Buried my foot underneath the tape. Judge called 7 down, so pretty happy with that. We can see the water drag. So I'm pretty happy with the way this competition ended. Especially ending it so it's a smoother ZoneAcc round. I started off not so great. So that's the competition. We can see the ZoneAcc. I got 30 points from that 37 points from that first round. A pretty high score. And everybody else from that second round. The last 4 rounds I averaged about 96 points, which brought me up to 4th place behind Mr. Mills here. These guys definitely had a battle between themselves throughout the whole meet. Super cool to see Travis back up on the podium where he belongs. I need to put a competition together like some of these boys ahead of me are capable of. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see you at Tennessee.